from a small town to the legendary realm of arm wrestling. Get ready to hear the remarkable story of Luther Cleve Dean, a man whose immense strength and infectious personality propelled him to the top. Can you believe that the man who conquered arm wrestling arenas also had a soft spot for art, history, and the Leaning Tower of Pisa, a small town called Pavo in Georgia, USA, where life revolved around farms, hogs, and crops. It was in this humble setting that our protagonist, Luther Cleve Dean, was born on December 15, 1953. The foundation of his incredible journey was laid on the farm where he tirelessly worked, raising hogs and harvesting cotton and tobacco. Little did anyone know that these daily tasks would not only build his work ethic, but also forge the immense strength that would come to define him. Cleve Dean, the name alone, conjures images of a man larger than life, possessing a physique that seemed to defy human limits. And indeed, the pictures prove just that. But here's the contradiction. Beneath that imposing exterior lay a personality that matched his size, exuding warmth and amicability. Cleve had a knack for connecting with people and relished the opportunity to travel and engage with his fans. Can you imagine the thrill of being the world champion arm wrestler for not one, not two, but 10 consecutive years? Cleve Dean's dominance in the arm wrestling arena was unmatched, making him a true legend in the sport. And it didn't stop there. He even tested his might in the ultimate test of strength, competing in the world's strongest man competitions in 1979 and 1980. Talk about pushing the boundaries. His brute strength and a farm-raised power sets him apart from other arm wrestlers. Unlike those who built their strength in the gym, Cleve's raw power came from hours of manual labor. News articles of the time marveled at his incredible feats, describing how he could effortlessly pick up a full-grown hog under each arm. Talk about hogging the spotlight. Cleve himself attributed his extraordinary strength and skill to his upbringing on his father's hog farm. In a 1980 interview with People magazine, he cheekily remarked, "When you farm like us, you use all your muscles," and he wasn't joking around. According to the LA Times in 1985, he would sometimes casually lift the rear end of his massive 7-ton John Deere tractor just for fun. I guess you could say he really knew how to raise the bar. Standing tall at nearly 6 feet 7 inches and weighing anywhere from 300 to over 450 pounds, he was hard to miss. But what made him truly unique was his ambidextrous arm wrestling skills. He could pull with equal strength using both his right and left hand, making him a formidable opponent in the ring. And if you think his hands were ordinary, think again. Reports vary, but they say his hands measured a whopping 8.5 to 10 inches from palm to fingertip with a width of 6 inches. No wonder his opponents felt like they were grappling with giants. Rogue Fitness gave us a nostalgic throwback moment on their Facebook page. They shared a black and white photo from their archives, showcasing a 25-year-old Cleve Dean competing in the steel bar bend. With a towel on his head for protection, he bent that bar down around the sides of his face. Just one of the mind-boggling events in the 1979 World's Strongest Man competition. As Rogue Fitness shared this jaw-dropping image, the comments poured in, revealing a continued admiration for the man known as the Arm Breaker from Pavo, Georgia. And there were those who were just discovering this strongman legend, marveling at his incredible feats. In the early days of his career, he competed in local events, quietly honing his skills and determination. But it was in December 1977 that the arm wrestling community first caught a glimpse of the budding legend. Although he narrowly lost in the final match, it was clear that a force to be considered had emerged. His unwavering determination paid off in October 1978 when he clinched the heavyweight title at the World's Wrist Wrestling Championship. However, true to his ambitious nature, he craved more competition, as some of the top contenders were absent from the event. But wait, did you ever think, what's Cleve Dean's favorite type of music? Heavy metal, of course. Okay, let's back to the point. Tony Celeste, the mastermind behind Arm Wrestling International and the man who could make things happen. Cleve approached Tony with a bold request, a showdown against the best arm wrestler out there. With Virgil Arciero as the top contender, Tony worked his magic and secured his participation. The stage was set for a historic clash on November 15, 1978, a date that would forever change Cleve Dean's life. With 2 intense rounds and a half-hour break in between, Cleve Dean emerged as the victor, earning himself the unofficial title of the best arm wrestler in the world. And to top it all off, he walked away with a $2,500 prize money. The crowd erupted with thunderous cheers, heralding the dawn of a new era in arm wrestling. However, as fate would have it, Cleve's reign faced a setback in 1980 when Virgil Arciero managed to defeat him at the Chicago events, but that didn't dampen his spirit. In the midst of Cleve Dean's awe-inspiring career, there was one match that etched itself deep into his memory, the legendary showdown with Steve Woodall. For a grueling 30 minutes, Dean and Woodall struggled, their hands locked in a fierce grip. It was a true battle of titans, and though Dean ultimately lost that day, he gained something far more valuable, a burning desire to train harder, to push himself further. That match became a turning point, a pivotal moment that fueled his journey to greatness. Undeterred, Cleve continued to compete in various tournaments, amassing an impressive collection of over 90 titles worldwide. He was a force to be considered, leaving his opponents in awe of his sheer strength and unwavering determination. Yet Cleve's journey extended beyond the realm of arm wrestling. Hollywood came knocking on his door, offering him a chance to shine on the silver screen. In Sylvester Stallone's iconic film Over the Top, released in 1987, Cleve was slated to arm wrestle Stallone's character in the final showdown. However, a unique challenge arose. You see, Cleve's colossal palms were so massive that they threatened to engulf Stallone's hand, creating quite the comedic spectacle. To avoid overshadowing Stallone's character, the filmmakers made a decision. The role would be taken over by the equally impressive Ox Baker. Talk about a hand that could crush mountains. He was not cut out for the confines of an office or working for someone else. As his daughter, Terry Dean, puts it, he wasn't the kind of guy that could work in an office or work for someone else. Instead, Cleve embarked on various entrepreneurial ventures, including a mobile home business that's still family-owned to this day. But don't let his hulking stature fool you. Cleve Dean possessed a charm and charisma that matched his physical prowess. He reveled in the joy of travel and the company of people, always ready to engage in conversation and make new connections. It's no wonder that he enjoyed an astounding 10-year reign as the world champion arm wrestler, leaving his opponents amazed by his raw power. And speaking of family, his loved ones paint a vivid picture of a man who is both strong and gentle. His youngest daughter, Terry, recalls that her father possessed a commanding presence that required no words. With just a single look, he could communicate when it was time to straighten up. But beneath that firm exterior, Cleve was laid back, affectionate, and loving, a true pillar of support. He had an uncanny ability to engage in heartfelt conversations that helped his loved ones see things clearly. Now let's dive into a heartwarming memory. In 2001, Cleve and his daughter Terry embarked on a memorable journey to Italy for the World Arm Wrestling Championship. Terry reminisces fondly about the experiences they shared, from exploring the captivating city of Cordova to admiring the Sistine Chapel's awe-inspiring beauty. They even rode in a gondola in Venice and marveled at the Leaning Tower of Pisa. It was an incredible adventure that exemplified Cleve's love for travel, new experiences, and immersing himself in different cultures. And that's a wrap, folks, but I would leave with a thought. Can a family continue the legacy of a sports legend? Go and rush the comments below